once we started speaking, that was the.
No, you don't.
Start when we
We
start.
had implicit.
Ted and I started 10 minutes ago.
We have implicit permission.
So the show just goes.
Oh, we've been going for 10 minutes now.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are even talking about.
Well, I don't know when it starts and when it doesn't anymore. Right, Ted? We just get
Is
down
this-
there, put
is
the
this an
headphones on, and we
indictment?
roll.
Who's Jack the Ripper?
I'm kidding.
This is an indictment?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I like the Iowa gear.
Go Hawkeyes.
I'm actually surprised you weren't wearing that the other day on the course. You fooled me. You had your Bulls.
you know,
you
it
had your
looks
Bulls
kind
hat. You had your
I know
Bulls hat.
because this one looks a little bit more. It looks like a farmer.
It does.
It
has
has
the camo hat.
Yeah.
I'm not a camo hat guy.
No, my Bulls hat's a camel hat too, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
have
don't
these
love it.
points.
I don't love it.
I do. I'm a camel guy.
I don't understand the concept of camo.
It's okay.
I can't see him.
It's okay.
You know what? I was actually praying you weren't going to go there, Ted. I was actually praying you weren't going to say that. Yeah. No, I just don't understand the concept of camo. I finally bought some like camo sweatpants. Like
I
they're
like
kind of
camel
fleece.
shorts.
Yeah, they're kind of fleecy and they're kind of heavy. But every time I've worn them, even in my own home, I get made fun of. I don't understand it. They're Oregon Ducks. They kind of got a camo, like an Oregon Duck kind of camo
Are they
thing. but
stupid pants?
no, they're not
Are
stupid.
they Zubaz?
No, that's what I mean. Zubaz. Remember Howard Stern used to call them stupid pants.
I remember.
Howard Stern is stupid.
Back in the '90s, the Zubaz
So they
was
are stupid
popular.
pants.
Yeah, I
No.
bowled a league, and there's like the same two guys,
Yeah.
the same Zubaz every single week.
Yeah, guys used to wear those to the Bears games. The Bears colors. They had all team colors.
The Bears.
Oh yeah, well they had every color.
Yeah, it had every
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I actually saw. I was going through social media and I saw some guys walking around in that, and they looked very proud of their Zuba pants. But I don't know if they're still called Zubas. I have no idea.
Zubaz. I think it's Zubaz.
You don't. It doesn't matter what you think
Yeah.
it's called. It's called Zubas. The
okay.
whole world called them Zubas.
Okay.
I don't know why you call them Zubas or whatever it is you do, but you're the same guy who calls karaoke karate or something. I don't even know what you do.
Svengali instead of Svengoolie. Sometimes Svengali.
That's what they say in Minnesota. Karaoke.
What?
They call it karaoke, not karaoke.
So Ted's secretly Minnesotan?
I guess.
I have no idea how that works. Yeah, Ted. If you could live anywhere besides Illinois, where would you live?
Oh, probably Arizona.
Why are you saying it like that? I'm asking you.
Yeah, Arizona.
Because it's the only place he's been outside of
outside the state. Yeah.
I mean, all the places I've been, Arizona.
I probably wouldn't mind living in certain parts of New Mexico, depending on the area. I think Santa Fe is really nice, but it's expensive. But yeah,
They say that's one of the up and coming. Santa Fe, one of the up and coming.
it's been up and coming. Yeah,
New
it's
Mexico.
expensive. Yeah,
Yeah,
It-
New
the
Mexico.
land,
Santa Fe.
the land of enchantment.
Enchantment, exactly.
Oh, is that their name?
That's their state motto. It's on their license plates. Yeah.
Ours. Illinois just changed theirs. You know that, right? Called
No,
taxes,
And fees.
and billionaires. That's what they care about.
it just says pay up, sucker.
Yeah. So I was reading that stuff, because I know I hate talking sports, but the Bears and the White Sox are looking for money for
Public
new
money.
stadiums,
Public
money for
money,
new
yeah.
stadiums. So
That's funny.
and Mark knows if you say it out loud near your phone automatically gives you stories about this.
Right.
Right. So all of a sudden I got a story today that talked about all the public money that all of these teams are getting, baseball and football, that I had no idea. And here's the beauty of it. Like St. Louis got like $250 million in taxpayer money to help them. Now they want to upgrade their brand new stadium. Their awesome state-of-the-art stadium. And because of the agreement, it looks like it's almost a lock that the city of St. Louis is going to have to give them another $250 million for upgrades.
Yeah, they're holding them hostage, because they know
It's part of the agreement. It's part of the stupid thing.
Yeah.
But that city doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window thrown out.
Oh my God!
It's really bad. I don't want to talk bad about St. Louis.
Buffalo.
It's a rough city.
Buffalo cut welfare spending to give it to in order to fund the Buffalo Bills' new stadium.
That's called the Brett Favre bill.
Okay.
It's popular.
No, that's Mississippi.
man.
No, I know, but it's moving on from state to
he
state.
he took money from the welfare fund in Mississippi to upgrade the Mississippi University because his daughter was on the volleyball team.
build a
Yeah,
volleyball
that was a noble cause. Though. I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I looked at it and I could not believe all the different states, all the different cities that are giving money, state and city money to billionaires.
I just want to see one
to
state
fund a stadium.
I want to see one governor or mayor just say, "We need money or we're leaving. Please leave."
Well, it's happening
We'll
now.
take
I mean,
we'll take your someone will take your place.
I don't know. I think Illinois and Chicago are going to give give a company that is worth
$6
billion dollars,
probably more than that. Yeah,
and I don't even know how much the baseball's worth. That's the other scam. They don't even have to divulge how much they make, and they make tons of money.
Right.
I don't understand how you could say for 1 second you could tell all the people we're going to have slightly less buses for you to get on. The roads are going to be slightly shittier, and your taxes are going to be slightly more, so that the Bears can build a brand new stadium and make another $1 billion next year.
Well, they said they're willing to kick in $2 billion.
How about just kick in all the billions?
Yeah.
Take it. Take the stadium. It's your stadium. Do whatever you want with it. If you want to have live sex shows on the days you don't have Bears games, you want to have live sex shows every single day, do it.
There's a tax for that.
Yeah. We'll
can
make our
tax it,
money.
yeah.
And if you don't want to pay it, just go away.
Yeah.
Go chump Nashville into it. Let the people in Nashville go, wait, I'm paying an extra 5 cents for every drink I have.
They're all drunk. They're all drunk down there.
What? Don't be mean to Nashville. It's not like it's
I
Kentucky.
can't be mean to Nashville. Okay.
that's like if you were like that's like if you were dating a girl and she said, if you don't give me this, or you don't give me like a $10,000 engagement ring versus a $5,000 engagement ring, I'm walking, and then you couldn't find like another girlfriend to take her place eventually. I mean,
Teddy, you know
so
what?
apparently there's no other sports teams that are willing to fill the vacuum in Chicago.
Just depends on their talent.
Okay,
It depends on their talent, right? And how much it's.
Tap
you know what
dancing.
it actually is? It's how talentless you are.
Oh,
No, it is, because if you're going to pay, if you can tell her to walk, then you've got talent, and you know you can get someone else. If you can't, then you know what? You're going to buy a $10,000.
Well, you know what? It's true. You're only as good as your options sometimes.
Right.
Not all the time. So sometimes.
All right. The beginning of the show is sponsored by Vice Golf. Premium quality at a fair price. Visit vicegolf.com for all of your golf needs.
I used the Vice ball the other day for
Dog food.
I used the neon Vice ball the other day for a few holes. I don't remember what happened, but obviously the end result was overall not good against either one of you guys. So it was just one of many balls I used.
You know what? If you would go out today, I would love to go over the exact 4 things you need to do to get better.
4 things.
4 things.
I
They're
thought it
4
was
simple
6.
things.
I thought it was 6.
No, there's 4 simple things. I figured it out. You're not going to do it, but I figured out 4 simple things.
We could discuss this off the air.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. I mean, you're not going to do it. You're not going to get better. Yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed playing with the. I'm not going to mention
Our
his name.
club pro?
Yeah, I enjoyed playing
Yeah.
with him. It was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, watching a 30-year-old kid.
Oh, he's 30?
32,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know
something
what-
like that.
yeah.
Swing a club as hard as anyone you've ever seen.
He hit the ball
10 miles.
350 yards on that one.
No, it couldn't be, because I was only a couple yards short of him
I don't.
the day
Yeah,
before.
it
No,
was
the
too
one-
much wind. No, he would.
You hit it. I mean, those had to be 300-yard drives.
Oh, yeah, a couple I did. Yeah. I've been hitting the ball really well. What can I say? All right, I found this. The longest living people were interviewed. Okay? And some researchers put together what they said. These
Okay, before you start.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Now go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What countries?
From around the world.
Okay, that's what I mean. I mean, so
yeah,
not just,
longest
okay.
living people from around the world.
Okay.
They got them together. They interviewed them.
They went to where they're at, right?
Yeah, they went to where they're at.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because they
didn't
want him to drive.
No, they had them walk to them.
They drove.
on foot.
In Illinois, they're going to be able to drive. We were the last holdouts, and now it is. I told you this discriminatory practice of making old people take driving tests, and we've now outlawed it. So all the people, I saw an old guy. He must be about 75 in a giant Ford LTD from 7,000 years ago. Not only was he weaving all over the place, I figured out why. It's not just because he's a shitty driver. He was on his phone. Yeah, he was looking at his phone. So here's a 75-year-old guy in a truck of a car, okay? Where it's basically a guided missile with no reaction time whatsoever, and now he's on his phone to kind of add to that, and he doesn't need to take a test to drive.
In Detroit, just as happened as tragedy, a 66-year-old woman who allegedly only had 1 glass of wine 4 hours prior crashed through like some type of boat club where she was, like a member, and killed a couple of kids and injured like 15 other people. And and then her attorney tried to say, she has like restless leg syndrome that cost her leg
Then why is she driving?
Well, she's not anymore. She's on $1.5 million cash bond.
You know what would have helped?
Yeah.
You know what would have helped? If she'd have gone through a driving test
Yeah.
at that age, and they would have said, during this driving test, I noticed you drive like shit because you have restless leg syndrome.
Yeah.
You can't drive anymore.
Yeah.
But that's discriminatory.
Yeah. Well, but supposedly when she obviously got arrested at the scene, of course, she blew way over the legal limits, which obviously debunked that.
So she only had 1 glass of wine
of wine.
hour
Yeah.
for the 6 hours she was there.
1 glass of wine with 3 shots of Everclear in the glass of wine. So.
Jesus Christ. All right. Here's what the longest living people said. See if you guys do this. got to keep moving around. Get up off your ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I walked. That's why I walked the other day.
Yeah, I drove. I felt shitty. They all do. All of them drink. Almost all the people, the longest living people, drink. But
You have to. You die.
what? There's plenty of people that don't drink.
Oh, alcohol, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. But not a huge amount. So they drink, but they don't get fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I heard that small doses of liquor are actually good for your memory. Now, I'm not even talking about red wine. I mean, no, but they're actually good for
It's
brain.
terrible for driving.
It's actually
Telling
terrible for
yourself
driving.
that,
Yeah, I didn't say I'm going to operate a school bus taking special needs children to like the Juilliard School of Music, down a dead country road. I'm just saying that.
Ted reads until he finds something that he agrees with.
Yeah. Well, no, it's something that it's something.
Whoa,
like,
here's a study.
Yeah.
A bottle of Crown a day keeps the doctor away.
By Dr. Jack Daniels, who wrote this study.
By Crown Royal, yeah.
No, it's. I mean, as long as you can justify anything, like if I read this and it justifies my lifestyle the way I'm living,
We all
then
do
this
that.
is perfect.
Absolutely.
If it
I do
doesn't,
it, yeah.
then I just throw this away and I find another one that says, here's the two major things all the longest living people do. They sit on their ass all day and they drink to excess every day. And I'd be like, that's the people.
It's like when the coffee study came out like 10 years ago, and they were saying coffee was bad for you. No, it said coffee was good for you. And it helps, different conditions, whatever.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, they said, well, coffee might not be good for you. I said, no, I'm done.
I've read what I need.
You already told me it's good for me. I'm done.
But there actually
I moved on.
there are more.
I'm drinking my
There
coffee.
are more studies that show that a consistent coffee drinker, not necessarily cream and sugar, but just coffee in the morning, does
I
prevent.
drink it black.
It
I
does
know Alzheimer's.
It does prevent certain type of cancers.
Yeah.
So
But in 5 years, they're going to change their mind again on
Yeah.
it.
So I don't believe any of that. I don't believe anything anybody says because you never know who's doing the actual doing the actual survey for anything or doing any of the actual testing. So yeah, I mean, once I found out that the was it not Splenda, whatever the
Asparcream.
yeah,
Aspartame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they did the test with that, and they were given, they said it gave mice cancer. Yeah. They were giving them 20,000 times the normal amount of aspartame that a human would have in a month. They were giving that to them a day.
Yeah, and plus this is like a 3-ounce animal.
Yeah. It was just. I mean, it's just bullshit. It's all. You know what? You got to kind of make up your mind. If somebody comes out with a thing that says eating vegetables is bad for you, you got to step up and say, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to believe that one. And if they say like a bag
Who wrote
of
that one?
chips,
A tomato plant.
yeah. If they say go ahead and have as many Pringles as you possibly can every single day, and you'll live to be 1,000. You have to kind of take that into, you can't just take it.
So
as
the old people said what?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So they frequently they drink alcohol.
A little
they
bit.
exercise.
Yeah, they exercise.
What's the commonality?
They take time to relax.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
important.
so
Yeah.
chilling. They generally eat more plant-based than meat-based food.
That
These are
makes
the
sense.
longest living people.
That makes sense.
Okay. Excuse me. They have.
Hello.
Monsignor?
They have friends and hang out with them often.
That's because I actually did read. There are studies that show that people who are socially isolated tend to decompensate mentally quicker. Not necessarily dementia, Alzheimer's, but just depression. But yeah, so people who are engaged socially. Yeah, so these are. I mean, it's just called living life, basically. And and don't forget this.
That's probably true,
I
right?
think
Don't stop living your life.
Some people are genetically predisposed to just, they can drink and they can smoke. I'm not saying you should, but they can, And then you get people who, like a 25-year-old who does everything right and they get cancer, right? I mean, it's just a genetic lottery sometimes.
Well,
right?
yeah, I'm sure that some of that is. Yeah, some of that is. Let's see. They eat 80% of their food by mid-afternoon, and rarely eat until they're stuffed.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they say actually people who have a less caloric intake, who eat less in the evening, it's actually better. They say you should actually eat more in the morning, titrate less to the lunch, and then titrate less to the evening. That's kind of like the winning formula.
That. Yeah. This is kind of interesting. A good amount of them practice some form of religion. Actual like Christianity was very low on the list, though.
What was up there?
This other ones. Actually, it's funny. There's a lot of Buddhism in there.
Yeah, because
it's kind of weird.
Because it's almost like relaxation. It's not really like obviously it's not real. There's no correlation, but it's just more like I think it's more like a yoga relaxation type meditation. Because Buddha is about meditations.
Yeah, and then the most important thing they said was have a daily purpose and a focus for each day, so you're not just walking around doing whatever.
I agree with that.
What do you think? You guys think you sit in that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I try to be useful every day.
Yeah. You're a useful idiot. That's why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. You know what? You know what's funny? When we were naming this, instead of the real three idiots, it was going to be the real three.
No, actually,
useful...
we should have just been the useful idiots.
Coffee drinking, exercising,
yeah,
friendly, plant-based
actually,
eating people.
In hindsight,
idiots.
Not three. You would have to say three idiots. We should have been the useful idiots. Now I have regrets about our podcast.
Really? Because it took a long time. Once we realized that there were real idiots, that and we had to come up with something else. That was really a tough one. That was.
I mean, I didn't realize how many idiots there were out there. We had to
no shit.
pulling the names.
All right. Let's see. This is the Real Three Idiots podcast, brought to you by Reed's Ginger Ale and Reed's Cream Soda. Treat yourself to better. It's time for Ted's tips. Another disclaimer. Ted is not now, nor has he ever been a member of the extremist group Banana Hammock, and does not agree in any way with their views on undergarments or the ritualistic killing of gophers. Now, please enjoy a musical interlude.
Ted's tips for sale or rent. His mind's worth more than 50 cents. No phone, just a fool who vets. He don't smoke no cigarettes, but 4 hours of swigging crown. Buys a very quick golfing round. Ted's a man who means what he means. King of the tips. Third podcast, Midnight Train. Destination Teddy's brain. Old worn out sweatsuit and shoes. He don't play the game to lose. Ted uses golf balls he found. They're very bright and still round. Ted's a man who means what he means. King of the tips.
Oh, man.
That made me so chill.
Little
Okay.
Roger Miller, man.
You know what? That is so funny. I was just going to ask you who that was. I know that. King of the Road? Is that the regular song?
That's the song.
King
yeah.
of the Road.
Yeah.
Oh,
Roger
man.
Miller.
So the other day, we were listening. We said something, and we said something about the Oak Ridge Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to be on.
And, oh, man. You know what? I will try. But
They are still touring. I told you that.
Yeah. But I downloaded a little Oak Ridge Boys thing off of Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It's kind of a fun music.
It is
It's
fun
kind of
music,
fun
yeah.
music. Yeah. I kind of dug it. All right, Teddy, you ready for a tip, sir?
Yes.
You always say that. All right, Ted, I need your help. I work in a small office, all guys. I'm not really into sports, and that seems to be all they talk about. Are there a few phrases or some jargon that I can use to get a little bit more involved in their conversations? I'd like to be part of their small talk. You guys don't really mention sports much, only golf. I have played, but I'm like Ted, I'm not very good. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Billy, 28, Springfield, Missouri. And he adds, my brother and I are planning on visiting the Bigfoot lady this summer. We can't wait.
Thank you, Billy. Look, I guess the only advice I can give you, I would just maybe take some cliff notes, do some reconnaissance. So what's the common theme that your office cabal workers talk about, and then just as a get me over, just Google it and then just get a little bit knowledgeable about whatever they're talking about, so you can just be part of the conversation, so you could be quote unquote part of the gang, and you're not a social pariah in your own office, because I understand that's very important. And yeah, so you don't, without even playing sports, just as long as you're sort of knowledgeable about it. Just see what usually guys who talk about sports have a repetitive theme, like, they harp on the same team, they harp on the same player. You could just write that down, do a little Google research.
Wait, hold on. How do you think it would be a little weird if there were like 5 or 6 guys in an office and there's Billy, right? And they're talking, and there's Billy, and he's just like,
I mean,
okay, wait a minute.
Not where you can make it obvious.
St. Louis Cardinals,
actually,
good.
I take
Bears, not good.
Let me modify that statement. How about just turn on your phone onto record what they say, and then transcribe it at a later time out of the eye shot of your
that's
coworkers.
Less weird.
Well, I mean, have your
That's
phone.
less weird to you. Wait, hold on. What do you guys say about the NCAA tournament? Let me just move my phone.
Billy,
Go ahead, talk into this.
Billy, do you want to be part of the team, or
Wouldn't it
are you
just
going
be
to
easier
be that guy?
Wouldn't it just be easier for Billy to just have the TV on in the background and just have some sports on? Like, he doesn't even need on
TV.
On days,
You're assuming they're all in the break room. What if
Or
they're
listen to
what
sports
if-
radio
what
on
if-
the way into work.
No, when he's at home. Just instead of
Yeah.
like if he's listening to music, but just put a game on.
Yeah.
Like there's basketball and hockey playoffs have started,
Yeah.
right? So if he just puts the TV on in the background, if he's listening to music, hanging out, doing whatever, hanging out with his brother, just leave it on if he's not watching the TV, and just say, "Oh, you know what? I saw that if the banners run. I saw the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Boston Bruins 3-2 in overtime." And they
Yeah.
go, "Oh yeah, Billy, you pay attention to hockey?"
Yeah, there you go. So just like, but let's just say he doesn't like sports, so you don't want him to like force him to say watch sports. So I'm just saying he could do a little bit of both. He could do like more research just so he knows what he's talking about. And like I said, he's just a small part of the conversation anyway. So as long as he says something, even if he chimes in for like say 2 minutes, but that 2 minutes of chiming in is something that.
How do you do it? You don't really know anything about sports.
I don't know anything about sports.
No, I mean you don't. You don't pay attention to baseball, or you don't really pay attention to any sports. If we start talking about the Cubs or the White Sox or something,
Well, I mean, they suck. That's all. That's all I know. So.
okay, so you know that they're bad, so you can say they suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, did Ted write this? He's advising himself?
Just
I
invite
mean,
myself.
it's kind of funny because you don't watch any sports at all except golf, really, and you don't even watch that.
I just watch golf and bowling these days. I don't really pay attention. Actually, I've been watching some ping pong lately.
So is that why you're always on your phone when we start talking about the Bears and all that
a
kind
lot
of
of ping,
stuff?
a lot of ping pong.
So okay, let's hear it. Let's help. Was it Billy? Let's help Billy. Let's do a little draft talk. The draft is in 2 days. Okay, so we'll do some draft talk. Mark and I have been paying attention to who the Bears are going to draft.
I've been reading those mock drafts things, by Mel Kiper and the other
so
talking heads. Yeah, I pay attention to that because I'm curious to see. Obviously, I'm assuming the GM Ryan Poles is job security. Maybe not this year, but eventually is going to depend who he drafts. Number one this year, and
So that is listen. Hold on. That is word for word from what Ted just read the other day.
No, actually,
let's bring it,
and-
Billy.
what-
Billy, this is what I'm talking
Wait,
about.
did you-
I wanted to.
But did you know
spitball
this? Did you know this? Okay, so I know something you don't know. So
I
the Atlanta Falcons are basically being accused by the league of tampering. They were talking to Kirk Cousins before the
Everyone knows that,
free
too.
agency. So they might lose. They might get punished by losing their draft pick. So that means the Bears might go up from number 9 to number 8. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay,
I
yeah.
actually heard that. Yeah.
But see, I knew that.
Okay.
So you wouldn't think I knew that, right?
So Billy, this is. I tell you right now, Billy, this is the key right here. Ted
Use me as a
knows-
living example.
So just get on your feet.
just know enough information
So before you walk into work,
so you don't look like a moron.
no. So before you get into work, just get on like a sports feed or something, right? Like I'm trying to think.
Read a current Yahoo. Just go to Yahoo Sports or wherever
Yeah.
you're at, and just read something current, so you can speak intelligently to your obviously your little cabal.
I'm trying to
of
look at
office
this.
workers
Like
there.
I have some app on my phone that gives me sports scores,
Well, can't he just listen to sports radio on the way in?
but then you got to no.
No, you don't have to
don't-
listen to it.
Okay, here, I'll help.
You need the
Billy,
Cliff Notes version.
whatever you do, don't listen to sports radio. It is the worst, most boring, stupidest shit that anyone says. You want to talk about repetitive garbage? Yeah. Here's what I would do. If your choice is listen to sports radio to keep your job, quit your fucking job, move, go somewhere else, get out of that job.
You know what he could do? And I thought Ted was going to say this. He can tell everybody that he was a professional baseball player before he had that job. And he got hit in the head with a bat and forgot everything about the sport.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know where he played or anything.
Yeah, and then you know what's
And-
gonna, and you know what's
and-
going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Then they're going to say, "Hey, we're starting a company softball team, and hey, Billy, I heard you're an expert football player, so we're making you the cleanup hitter and the shortstop."
Okay.
Okay,
So he got hit.
That
he-
just backfired.
So he got hit in the head, forgot everything about the sport, including how to play and everything, and he needs friends to help him get back on track.
That doesn't seem insanely convoluted to you. That seems like something Ted would say.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
So I worked at my other company years ago. So there was a guy in the office, and this is true. There was a guy in the office, and he said, I can't remember exactly because it's been a long time, but he said he was a great golfer, and whatever he said he shot. So we actually finally went out with him and golfed with him, and I think he shot like 130. I mean, he was.
You worked with David Duvall?
He might be the worst golf. I mean, I know I'm not good, but I want you to think of like levels of bad. Like, okay, I'm bad, but this guy was like bad times a factor of like 10. And
That's a tough one.
But the thing was, he humble bragged about how good he was. So of course you're looking for this guy to hit the ball, do great things, and he didn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
So,
you know what,
yeah.
Billy?
So be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Honestly, Billy,
Careful what you wish for.
you know what? I would a little social media feed or a little something just to see
Just
some
go
scores.
to Yahoo Sports. It gives you a condensed version of what happened. You don't. Sports radio is the worst.
Yeah, but then just you know what the easiest thing to do is as they're going, just agree with them.
Yeah.
Because listen. The best thing to do is have the same opinion. Like when we go to the bar, Mark and I will go to the bar and we'll start talking about sports. And I immediately I do one of two things. I either don't really care and I just say whatever, or just to have fun, I take the alternate view, just to watch Mark get angry. So I just take the exact opposite view of whatever he's saying.
He's trying to make friends.
Yeah,
Just be disagreeable at all times.
Okay, so
Just go with the baseball bat thing, and you'll be fine.
Or just,
just
or just,
agree.
fake, just fake a seizure.
You're gonna get
Worst case scenario.
empathy and knowledge, and be one of the guys. There you go.
But you can't do that anymore. 30, 40 years ago, you could fake being a professional anything. You can't now because everyone's just going to look it up online.
Well, like I said, like I said,
You can't,
So he
you
could
can't-
find an athlete that he's similar, that he looks like, and say, "That's me." Like a guy
guy
that
would
had,
have a different
like,
name.
A guy that had a cup of coffee. Like one guy was up for like a
Wait,
day.
when the bat hit him, he changed his name.
Or he could go. He could create.
This is
he
a
could
soap
create a
opera.
guy. He
This
can
is
he
real
can make
life.
his own card because technology, it exists. No, he can make himself up.
Okay, now we are going somewhere with
he
this.
can make up his own baseball
So,
card.
yeah.
He can make up his collegiate history.
And it would work with almost any sport. If there's any sport that even has any kind of inkling,
so
if it's football,
he'll just deep fake it.
Yeah, he could
Okay.
just have multiple concussions if he wanted to be a football player.
There you go. He could be football. No one ever sees them with their helmets off.
Right, hockey.
Because that's me.
Yeah, hockey. What about like a really obscure sport? I can't believe I was watching this the other day. I was watching highlight.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, the sport in
Holy
Miami. It's
shit.
popular in Miami, right?
Yeah, Ted, it's like
Remember the beginning of Miami Vice? And they show those guys throwing those balls.
down a.
Oh,
It's
okay.
dude.
Okay.
I had no concept. It was like cricket. Okay.
Yeah.
I have no concept of what's happening.
It's like the curved bat with the balls like
a
in.
curved like scoop.
Yeah,
a curved
yeah,
scoop.
yeah. Like almost like a
Yeah.
lacrosse thing, but without the little net thing. Okay, yeah.
And they're whipping it at super hard off a wall. I don't know what was going on, but it looked insanely dangerous, and it's something that I want to watch, but I don't want to see people get hurt. But it seems incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
people get really
Yeah.
messed up in that sport.
But I
they
still
get hit with that ball. It's like a mini bowling ball.
right. But yeah. It seemed
It
very.
looks like a rock.
Yeah, it seemed very bad. But I would go with I would skip the baseball thing, and I would
Do a
go right to
football thing,
cricket. No,
yeah.
I would go to cricket.
cricket, okay.
Right, because nobody knows about cricket. There's nobody in America. I mean, there's teams, that they're kind of sponsoring
He is
and
from
stuff.
Springfield, Missouri.
That's not a very cricket.
It's in the Ozarks. Springfield's really
Oh yeah,
nice, by the
oh,
way.
yeah.
I spent 2 weeks
They're not
there.
going to know anything about cricket, so I would go with
Brad Pitt's from there.
Brad Pitt. Is
Yeah.
from Springfield,
He
Missouri.
grew up,
I didn't know that.
yeah, he grew up there. He went to grammar school and high school there.
Okay, so Billy, you've got a couple of things.
It could be his
here.
brother. I think his
Right,
brother's named Billy
He
Pitt.
should have stayed there.
He's got two brothers, Arm and Billy.
So yeah, Billy, if you're going to do that, you know what? I would research cricket and say, listen, I know you guys are talking about all these American sports. I played cricket when I was a kid.
But then
Yeah.
you're going down that rabbit hole. I mean, what if one of the guys on the team had grew a brain and like Googled something, and this guy? I mean, why even go that
Who's
far?
going to Google? Wait, hold on. How long?
I would.
No, you would not.
would.
If he came up with some obscure cricket thing, there is no way anyone is going to spend more than a second to even look it up, and he's going to like, this is stupid. It's cricket. I don't care.
But,
and just
but
accept
why
it.
introduce that extra variable where you don't have to? Just like I said, you just need to fake it.
Dig the hole, Ted.
Just fake it to make it. Just
Dig
fake
the
it
hole.
to make it. Just read something quick on Yahoo. Say one thing. Shut up. Like I said, agree with everybody else about everything else, and that's it. But don't proffer yourself as like you're a former.
Okay, but what if half the guys? What if let's just say there's 6 other guys, and 3 guys are pro this, and 3 guys are just the opposite. Which guy do you agree with? Which set of guys? Yeah, see, and just go in cricket. All he's got to do in cricket, when we hit the ball around with the
I think it's
thing,
called yeah.
and then just kind of do that, and then maybe they'll just get so bummed out about it they'll stop talking about sports. It's like every time we talk about sports, Billy talks about cricket. Can we talk about politics or I don't know fashion?
He should say just like luge, the luge where you're like the individual sled or skeleton.
Yeah.
Wait, there's
There
luge.
you go.
There's luge. There's skeleton, and then there's the bobsled. So bobsled.
Where's the one where-
So bobsled's a 2-man guy. Skeleton is the one guy where he's just on like he's like
So
on a small
pretend he was
sled.
one of those athletes.
No, say skeleton. I was a skeleton.
Where's
guy.
the one where the 2 guys lay on top of each other? 'Cause that's the one I want. Because I gotta be honest with you.
That's called docking.
If you're doing
that's called
bobsledding,
that's called docking.
If you're doing bobsledding or anything like like that, okay? And they got like a 4-man, like jump in, and they got like a 2-man behind each other, and they got like a solo. And then the coach comes up to you, right? And he comes up to you, me and Teddy, right? He goes, "Hey, you guys want to get involved in bobsledding?" And Teddy and I are like, "Yeah." All right. So we got this one. One of you guys is gonna get on the sled and lay down, and then the other guy is gonna lay down right on top
But
of
we
him.
have to make sure your genitals match up perfectly in order to reduce wind friction and drag.
And here's the beauty of it, right? Here's the beauty of it. Teddy,
You're naked.
Teddy immediately says, "No, I'm not interested," and I do this. Yeah, that sounds great. What?
Mark, can you Google at your convenience what's the difference between luge and
don't.
skeleton?
Nope.
You heard of skeleton,
See,
right?
See, this is why if Billy came up with that, he would win because no one's going to Google that. No one gives a shit enough about that to Google it. So
Right.
I think instead of the baseball thing, come up with an obscure sport that you played.
Skeleton.
And you were so focused on that one sport, you don't know anything about the other sports. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start anew. You guys fill me in.
Yeah, but
and
then
I'm
you're
going to go, go along with the popular
but then you're a social
opinion.
pariah.
No,
No.
he's saying
He says, "Oh yeah, you guys want me to tell you about the
They'll have
the
empathy.
2-man
They'll be
bobsled
like,
where I laid
like,
on
no,
top of
Billy's
my
cool,
buddy?"
man. He was just a pro in this sport. He didn't have time for other sports.
Yeah.
So,
Billy was a pro cricket player, or on the rowing team. Yeah, and then Billy would say, "Yeah, I did rowing. I'm not really much of a baseball player."
And what if on the off chance one of his office mates said, "Hey, you know what? I had a scholarship to Oxford for rowing."
all right, now we're really okay.
I don't-
All right, let's go.
I-
CJ's gonna leave us any minute now.
Yeah, I'm just.
I
Looking.
heard enough. I heard enough.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure our guest he's probably
got
saying what
terrible
everybody else is
ideas.
saying. Don't lie about sports.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. What's that? No, what's that line from Rodney Dangerfield? You don't lie to me. You lie to girls.
And the police.
All right. Let's see. Oh, so we have a very special guest this week, and this is pretty cool. Okay. Our guest this week is the director of the upcoming Chicago Horror Film Fest, CJ Vecchio. CJ, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Welcome, CJ.
Welcome.
Oh, we don't have you. Oh, you know what? You're muted. Oh, it's all part of the horror thing.
There we go.
Technical
Now we-
difficulties.
now we-
technical
now we- now we
difficulties
hear 'em.
over here. How you guys doing?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
All is well. Thank
CJ,
you.
are you a sports guy?
You know what? I'm a Chicago. Obviously, being in Chicago. Yeah. I haven't been in a few years, but I came in. First of all, are you guys from Chicago? Any of you from Chicago?
Oh, born
All of us,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
raised.
all of us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I know. I came in when you guys were talking about the Bears and how their new stadium announcement tomorrow, and it's going to be what they want public funding. I just want to know what happened to all that money they spent on Arlington Heights.
Well, that's their money, so
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
their
I mean,
money.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well-
But I mean, I'm a sports fan.
There you go. I mean, yeah, you got it, and you got to be. So you could, if you were hanging out with a guy that didn't know anything about sports, you think you could kind of walk him through it?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I used to be, I was at the Hawks, Bears, Bulls back in the day. I mean, I gave up on the Bulls, right? I gave up. I couldn't even name one player. Derrick Rose was the last guy I remember. The Hawks, same thing. I couldn't name a Hawk player now. I was there for the Stanley Cups, all that. Same thing else. Like I said, I'm like a fair weather fan these days. So.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
Connor Bedard is supposed to be the next Wayne Gretzky. I don't know if you've been watching lately, but I don't know too much
he
about
clearly
hockey.
hasn't because he doesn't know Connor Bedard.
But
so,
Connor
yeah.
Bedard,
I've heard
he's
of
like
him. I
18,
used
but
to
he's
listen
like
to the score radio
Yeah.
every day. And those guys. But I just you got to make money, so I got to get kind of got to pick my sides. But
sure.
I mean, I'm born and bred in Chicago too, so of course Ditka, Peyton, and all those guys. So
the go-to guys. All right, so this
the go-to.
this thing you're doing is pretty cool, and I know it's been going on for a long time, and this is how weird, this is how big Chicago is, right? This is something that's been going on. Your horror film fest has been going on. This is the 25th year, right?
holy
Yes.
cow.
All right, so starting on May 3rd and running from May 3rd to Sunday, May 5th, you are going to basically have 12 hours a day of independent horror films. Is that basically the premise behind this thing?
Yeah, it's going to be at Facets Theater off of Fullerton and Ashland. So Friday night, Saturday all day from 10 a.m. to midnight, Sunday from 11 a.m. to midnight. So, and it's just, they have 3 screens. So we have the entire theater, 3 screens showing indie horror from all over the world all day long, all day and night.
See, and I like the fact that you start some of it in the morning because I get scared all the time. So I do not like to watch scary things at night because I know I am going to have horrible nightmares. My sister is the same way. She's going to do that. So I would be like a 10 o'clock in the morning guy.
Yeah, we could go. We can go to the show and then walk down to Liars Club. Is Liars Club still open over there in Fullerton?
That's down the street. I don't know what time. It's still open.
Oh yeah, that was my hangout, man.
I know. I don't know. I think it opens in the evening.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Oh, you know what?
How big is that theater?
Yeah, how big is Facets? How many seats does each of the theaters
You know,
hold?
there's 3 screens. So the big theater is about 155 people. The little theater, the second one, is 55 people, and then there's a small room for 25.
Oh wow! All right.
Oh man. Okay, so rumor has
It's
it.
tight though. It's tight. You know, the walk around. I mean, people keep on asking us. We have vendors. We're not at that point. I just took over last October, so we're not at that point yet to where we could have vendors come in and sign autographs, sign autographs. Maybe next year or a year after.
Yeah. So rumor has it that you took over in October and ticket sales have gone up 300%.
Yeah. So I'm a filmmaker myself, right? So my films have been all over the world basically, but I traveled all over the United States, hitting these festivals. I've been to good ones. I've been to bad ones. I mean, we're almost got in a fist fight with the festival director. That's how bad.
Wait, is that an option for this one? Could somebody fight you?
You know what? I'm a big dude. 6'3", about a biscuit over 300. So good luck. I got the long beard, like a wrestler. I look like a pro. So good luck,
So all right, so pick listen. If you're going to complain to your second in charge, not to you.
There's no complaint. There's no complaint department.
Yeah. Second in charge. I told her, Macklin, she's a program coordinator. If anybody gives you any grief, just point me out, and then we'll fix that real quick.
So you can make like a real life horror film. You guys can just constantly
we can make one.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you've got a bunch of sessions, 3 days, 12 hours a day. When you guys are doing this, are there people that come and will sit there for 3 days and just see all these different films? I mean, I don't know how big these fests are. How many people are you going to have, and what kind of things are people doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it's you could buy a day. Obviously it's Friday night, so you get a night pass. We haven't broken in 2 sections, so we got day passes and night passes, right? So you could also buy the weekend pass, where you could just come in and out. I mean, you could come in for an hour, watch a movie, and then leave, come back later on night, in and out. And the cool thing too is we have about 250 movies that are going to be shown. If you miss one or want to rewatch one, all the people that buy the tickets get an online streaming pass. So the next day they could go online and watch that movie 100 times for a week. That's cool. So
wait, so if people aren't in Chicago but they love horror and they want to see all these things, if they buy the tickets, they can watch them online wherever they're at.
Yep, you watch them all over the world. Yep.
What's the website?
It's Chicago Horror Fest, filmfest.com. Chicago Horror Filmfest.com.
And it's pretty reasonable. I was looking. It's like for each one, it's like $19 or $20 or something, right? To do this.
The day passes are like around $10. The night pass, is 15. Weekends like 39. And like I said, if you buy the day pass, the Sunday day pass for $10, you still, you could get the link. You get the link. So I would, do that for $10. You can't beat it.
Wow. Okay. So, and I was looking now, these aren't like full length feature films. These are like, they all go between about 10 minutes and 40 minutes. Does that sound about right?
We do have some feature films, right? A handful. So we do have some indie features that are going to be playing, probably about 8 of them throughout the weekend. But 90% of them are going to be, shorts, from 10 minutes. I mean, we have one that's 57 seconds.
I saw that.
That's
I was like,
short.
No, I'm thinking how many heads can you cut off in 57 seconds?
Yeah. There's one it's pretty good though. It's pretty good, but it's 51 seconds. But like you said, they go from 57 seconds up to like 30 minutes. We do the cutoff like around 30, and then obviously we have the features that are going to be showing. So we have a handful. We got some premieres, a bunch of the cool thing we're having is a lot of filmmakers show up. So a bunch of filmmakers showed up in my Oktoberfest. So we're trying to double that. When we have filmmakers from India come in, Australia, London, Canada, and then all over the United States, they're all going to be showing up.
Oh, this website is great. I'm on it right now. I didn't go on it before the show. It's a really good website,
it's
man.
really cool. Okay, so
Wow.
so you guys have a VIP lounge,
Yeah.
right? So that's part of it. You can get into that. So I'm assuming that's where all the cool shit happens.
Yeah, that's where what happens at the VIP lounge stays at the VIP lounge.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I'm not a big horror film guy because I'm easily scared. Like in the horror films, I laugh about this. Right before anybody gets their arms cut off or gets stabbed, when the cat jumps out, I scream, I pee a little, and then when the guy gets his head cut off, I'm out of control.
Well, here's my question: what do you consider? I mean, since I'm sure you've seen like dozens of horror films, or hundreds. What do you consider like a good horror film? Because I mean, there's the blood and guts, but then there's a suspenseful one where you're not sure what's going to happen. So, like, I mean, I think the suspenseful drama ones, where it's just you're on the edge of you don't know what's going to happen, is actually more psychologically of a thriller than say like just some guy who's like a madman slasher who's going to cut people into 1,000 pieces. What do you consider personally like a good horror film?
Well, I like a little bit of everything. I mean, what the theory with this film festival is that with myself being a filmmaker, I kind of promote it as a filmmaker ran festival, right? About 90% of the horror festival out there are just ran by fans, right? They had nothing to do with cinematography, writing, editing, sound, or anything like that. I mean, I went to one festival. I mean, it was filmed on a cell phone with a dirty lens, but it was just tons of blood and gore, and there's no story. So, we're kind of, there's festivals for that. That's not our festival, right? I mean, there was one film that was submitted, and it was just a guy just shooting. And it was pretty, actually, I was a little disturbed by it. It was just a guy just shooting up people. And I'm like, all right, there's no lines. There's nothing. It's just, I go, there's festivals for that. But like I said, it's a lot of story structure, cinematography, editing. I'm a big editing guy. Like I could watch a movie right now. I'm the worst guy to watch a movie with, by the way. I'm like, oh, there's an audio glitch right there. Or, that was a bad cut. Or that wasn't supposed to be in there.
So Scorsese films drive you nuts, right?
Yeah. It's just So, but it's and that's how we judge it. So we had 60 judges come. They watched all the films. They judged them.
Yeah, because I see you already have the awards out, right?
We have
on the website.
Everybody's been nominated.
Oh, those are the nominees. Okay, I got you. They're all on the website.
That's on the website. That's on the website.
Yeah.
So we have some winners, but I kind of like to wait to see that day, right? To see to choose the final winner, But we have about 20 different categories.
I saw that. Now, do the people who go, do they get to vote? Like if I go, if we show up, do we get to vote, or is there some sort of thing like that?
With me taking it over, we're taking baby steps. I want to incorporate like a audience favorite award. We're just not there yet. We're gonna have the next one's gonna be in October, so we might do that. It's just like I said, I just took it over. This is technically my second showing. The first one just great. Like when I went to Facets, they're like, "Well, how do you expect?" I go, "Dude, it might just be you and me, drinking beer on weekend, watching horror movies." And he's just like, "Oh, that sounds actually pretty cool." I go, "You know what? That was pretty cool." And then when the day happened, when we opened the doors, I'm like, I thought, I go, expect a shit show. I was waiting. It ran so smooth. I go in thinking negative. I go, I'm going to get egged. I'm going to get booed, and we had super, super positive feedback. I just had a meeting. I just got back there from Chicago today from the theater. So I just said, we're just going to run everything like we did last year, the same way, right? But a lot of good feedback. A lot of people from LA. I got calls the next day from people from LA talking about it. So we're just going to do the same thing we did last year, a little tweaks here and there. But like I said, I like a variety of horror. Obviously I do like a nice, good quality kill, right? Several quality kills, some blood's good, nice villain, some creepy, creepier the better. Yeah, that's the way I like it.
See, and so I'm not a like a straight up horror guy. I don't really watch a lot of that. Do you guys have a section for like kind of like comedy or funny kind of
Yeah.
horror films?
Yeah, I mean, we have everything. I mean, we have comedy horror. We have the midnight horror, right? We have cartoons, animation, AI. So there's a variety. And last year when I ran it, people were like, "Oh my god, I love the variety." Because usually when you go to festivals, they're all grouped out, right? A block of cartoons, a block of comedy, a block of this, a block of that. I just kind of threw everything together because I was running short on time. And that was like the biggest compliment. Like, oh my God, the variety is awesome. Like, oh, thank you. I took full credit on that. But it was just basically laziness. I was like, I just throw everything together. So
Yeah,
so we're doing it this year.
So I'm looking at it, and the selected films the posters are amazing on all these. So when you go to the theater, let's say I go on Friday, and I got my day pass, and I choose a theater to go into. Or what's the format of is it all? It's all digital, right? So it's just like one film after another. Some are longer than others. You just sit. You're just in the theater, and you just sit back and relax and watch what's rolling. Or because you have a list of what's the order of what the movies are coming on, so you know what you're seeing when you get in there.
Yeah. I mean, the way we do it. I mean, usually people ask, well, what time does this start? What time does that start? We were going to do that, but the festivals I attended, they're never on time because we do Q&As and stuff like that. So we kind of put down the minutes. So, but yeah, I mean, the way we run it, it's, one film after the other. We do them in 2-hour blocks. So after the 2 hours, there's like a 10-minute intermission.
Okay, I guess
grab
that's
a beer,
perfect.
go hit the washroom, grab a smoke, grab something to eat, right? And then, like I said, once that 10 minutes goes down, then the next block starts, right? So it's all pretty organized and stuff like that.
So Fastest Theater, it's a full service theater, right? They've got a concession stands,
yeah,
everything,
they got,
right? Okay.
Yeah, your typical concession stand. They got concession stand that says serves alcohol. And then you got 2 of those. So yeah, it's full service. And there's also plenty of restaurants down the street. So if you need to grab something to eat, there's a Walgreens across the street.
Yep, there's a Mr. Submarine right there, open late.
I just had Mr. Submarine on the way home.
Dude, they're open till I think that one's open till like 3 a.m.
Was there one across the street from Lane Tech, a Mr. Submarine?
No,
that was Heroes. But I love Mr. Submarine.
I love Mr. Submarine too. I love it.
One of my,
it's right across the street from the Walgreens by Hog McDonald's.
I love it. All right, so you actually you're a big time movie maker, okay? And you have a movie premiering called The Evil 3. Now, okay, are you ready? Without giving anything away, please tell us everything about the movie.
Well, I got my, we did a fun, it's a fan film, right? So I did, 4 shorts, won a bunch of awards. So we just wanted to do something fun. So we did a fan film. And what a fan film is basically, you just take, like there's a lot of Star Wars fan films where fans make them. So basically what we do, we took, Jason from Friday the 13th, Michael Myers from Halloween, and Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we put them together in one film. So we filmed it with a bunch of Chicago guys last October, and we're premiering it Friday night at Facets. And I think like around 9 o'clock at night. So it's called The Evil 3, filmed here in good old Chicago, Illinois.
So I know this is going to sound like a stupid question. And I don't mean, how do you get away with using like other characters like that?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. And I'm a legal guy.
No, I would love. I love that idea, and I always think like,
you know what? There's laws. Like I said, Star Wars. They do superhero movies. There's thousands of them.
Right.
Basically the gist is, you just can't make any money off it. I mean, I can't put it on YouTube. I mean, there's a bunch of fan films right now. Never Hike Alone, and they have about 8 million views, but you can't make any money off it, right? So, like I said, how we raised funds was through Indiegogo. So we had an Indiegogo campaign last year, and how we ran it was you got to vote who wins or who who wins at the end of this movie. So either your team Jason, team Michael, team Leatherface, right?
I love that.
Yeah. So you had a part. We were offering perks on Indiegogo where you get act. We had people fly in from all over the United States. They had a role in it. Posters. So I kind of, took like the best of Indiegogo that's out there and kind of combined it with our thing. Same thing with the horror film festival. I took the best of all the festivals that I attended and turned it, and put it in the Chicago Horror Film Festival. And that's what I did with the Evil 3. So it was, we shot it on 3 weekends in October, right? And then, a bunch of times, it was during the day. Thank God we had perfect weather every day. I tried to hook up with, try to rent a forest preserve in Cook County, which is Crook County, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted, I needed a forest preserve for 12 hours. They wanted $350 an hour. Right.
That's crazy.
And $40 an hour for a forest preserve cop. And I go, well, that's our budget right there for the entire movie.
Yeah.
So I went to Kane County, talked to them, super cool. We have the entire forest preserve for the weekend for $50.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, big difference.
Smart.
10 minutes away.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it out there, and this is kind of funny because I remember my mom and dad. I wanted to be an actor. My mom, very supportive. She said that I absolutely, just in case you need somebody, have the talent to play a lifeless corpse or a mentally challenged homeless person with no training whatsoever. So if you need either one, if you need either one of those, yeah.
We got that role. You're made for it. So.
Yeah, just laying in the street, looking dead. I could do that.
I'll be a page grip.
You could
Page
do
grip.
That. You could do that.
Page grip.
Oh yes, you know what? I
door here because the kid decided to cut the grass after waiting for a month. So,
well, that's good because my kid doesn't cut the grass anymore. I kind of like that. All right, so how many movies have you made?
I've made 4. So 4 shorts. The first one was called BL, which is short for Beelzebub, and that was basically a COVID movie. And that's how I got to start. I always wanted to write, always wanted to make movies, and COVID came around and I had some time off, so I wrote the script for BL, it took off online. I had a couple CD producers approach me, and there's a lot of shady guys out there, right? So they tried to pull a fast one. I said, you know what, I'll make it myself, and then got some the stimmy check from the government, and put that towards the movie, and that's how it all started from there.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna ask because I don't know anything about making a movie, but when you've made 4 movies, you have a vision of what you want your end result to be. How close do you actually get to that vision? Like when you picture it in your head, I know you probably picture like the greatest movies of all time, Academy Award winners, but how close do you get to what you can actually do? How close do you get to that?
Well, being indie, low budget, probably never, right? So, never. It's never. I mean, and my thing is when I do, and people ask me, other filmmakers, what do you do? And I go, I always have a plan B and a plan C, because it's good. Money every second you wait, because things go wrong every shoot, crew, cast, lighting. Just you name it, it's going to happen. So you always got to have that plan B or plan C, because you don't have an hour. You can't afford an hour to think about it. And things just change. I mean, your script, you might have a 60-page script. By the time you get done shooting it, it's only 20 pages, 30 pages. And I just, recently had an issue with, one of the writers, with one of my films that's going to be coming out, it's like, well, anything I wrote was not in here. I'm like, well, it's the movie making business. A lot of stuff hits the floor. You just got to take it and just move on. So, I mean, you try to do your best. We have a thing, what's called a lookbook. So it's kind of like I want to say a comic book, right? You take pictures of other movies, and that's the theme you want to go with, right? And you just kind of follow that the best you can, and hopefully you get time, you can shoot it. If not, you just got to work around it.
Okay, so here's a question, because Matt and I and Matt and I have been talking over the last year about the copyrights that are coming up on a lot of these like Disney movies
Expiring.
Yep. So the horror film, the Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And Minnie Mouse is up,
Bloody
right?
the Pooh.
Yeah, Mickey and Minnie are up. Have you thought about like taking one of those films to the next level?
You know what? I did think about that, because Popeye is coming up, right?
Oh,
I was
my
thinking,
God.
Man, he would make the greatest serial killer of all time.
He looks like a state of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
No, his
I
brother-in-law,
thought about it.
Olive Oil's brother, Pappy.
But with the Winnie the Pooh, what the hell, Pooh and Blood and Honey, whatever, was the success that guy had, because I think this film probably cost like 25 grand. He made 4 million.
Holy
and then
shit!
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, 4 or 5 million, and the second one is making bank. I think every writer is looking at that list, because I looked at that list like Batman's coming up, Superman's coming up in like 10 years. Everybody's looking at that list, writing a script on something.
Probably already filming. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Amityville horror, right? There's so many Amityville horror movies out there. Amityville Bomb.
It's oversaturated. You got to go something like Mary Poppins is like a mass poisoner with a poison spear in that umbrella of hers. Like a little, like the dart frog poison. Like there.
That would be if you turned Mary Poppins.
I mean, you got to take the most, because here's what scares people: someone who's is perceived as harmless and innocent, as a raving lunatic, psychopath. I think that's what scares people the most. Someone who's like benign, versus like someone who's like, physically intimidating looking. It's like, okay, we know this person is probably dangerous, but I think that's a visceral reaction with people. It's like, they feel safe, and then you're not safe. With something you should be safe.
I do like that Mary Poppins.
There you go.
I gotta look at see when that expires.
There you go.
So,
All right, so here I'm gonna throw an idea out, because when I saw this and I saw all the
Hey,
things,
Dick Van Dyke's still alive too.
you can play that. So has anyone ever done, that you looked at, a serial killer love story where like a male and a female serial killer like fall in love?
Yeah, that's been done actually. I've seen a movie like
What?
that. Yeah.
Shut up, Ted.
There was a movie, I can't remember the name. It was a man and a woman, and they teamed up to actually hunt serial killers, and they actually killed the Zodiac killer. Obviously, I can't remember, but it was an African American woman and a white guy, and they would actually they killed they would actually hunt the predators.
No. Here's CJ knows what I'm talking about.
He's in denial.
I'm talking about Jason and like some crazy like Kathy Bates from whatever
Misery.
she was, Misery. Yeah, they hook up. They literally.
No, these two people hooked up, but they weren't like serial killers per se. But they hooked up and they hunted serial killers.
Right.
I don't want hunting. I want two crazy.
Oh.
I want Jason full on banging Kathy Bates from Misery, and then creating a
that's
baby.
a scary thought, by the
Creating
way.
a baby that goes out and murders people. That's what I'm talking about. Have you ever? Listen? You can have that idea. It's a free idea.
Right. I do like it.
Okay, I just want to be a lifeless corpse or a mentally challenged homeless person in it somewhere. Yeah.
Well, we can have Kathy Bates seduce you. How about that? She should seduce you, bring her back to the house. Jason could be in the closet waiting. Yeah,
Oh my God!
What was that movie?
Yeah.
There was a movie back in the 70s with Michael Caine, and I guess there was somebody who's like a cross dresser, and he like would garrot people with dental floss in like a bathroom, and I can't remember, but it was pretty scary. It's like it was
that
actually,
was with Angie Dickinson.
It was it was like pretty cutting. Yeah, I think you were Angie Dickinson. It was pretty cutting
Dressed
edge.
to Kill.
Yeah.
I think it was Dressed
Dressed
to
to
Kill.
Kill. Dressed to
Right?
Kill.
That was
Yeah,
a long time ago.
yeah, that was that was
a
a movie that was ahead of its time at the time.
Oh man, that is awesome. Okay, you know what? I was actually worried when I said my idea that you would not be into that,
Kathy Bates in lingerie. Oh yeah.
Whoa. Oh man, I absolutely love where you're taking this. Okay, so you've made 4 movies. What's the worst part about making a movie? What's the hardest thing or the worst part about making a movie?
You know what? I love editing. The worst part, I think, is just the casting of it. It's just casting. That's I'd like to have a casting director. Like, here's what I'm looking for. Go find them. Because like being an indie, you got to do everything.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than putting an ad out for casting for Chicago only actors, and you get spammed with everybody and their mother from different parts of the states and all this. I'm like, it only pays $100. Sure, you're going to fly in from California to be in this movie. That's my. I think I kind of like when it comes time to casting, it's kind of like, oh man. But then when you find that right person, it just hits you, right? And I've had a bunch of those moments, thank God. But you got to weed through hundreds of just people that they don't read. And I like the last time I put a casting call, I must have put in the caps Chicago resident only about 50 times, blah, 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 straight down, and you still get the guy from New York that wants to come in for $100. Like, sure, yeah, I'm sure I'll be on set waiting for you to show up. I mean, and that's the thing too is just getting some crew and cast, and sometimes they just don't show, right? So now what I do for the cast members, I just get them Ubers. Here's an Uber, pick them up an hour, text me when you get on the car. This way you kind of know, right? So, I mean, thank God I've never had any issues. But that's the main thing. It's just the casting. That's just for me.
So I have one idiot question. Actually, I've heard the term before, but what exactly for our audience? What is that genre? What is indie? What is indie? Because
indie means independent.
Oh, I see.
So,
I see.
Yeah, indie's short for independent. So basically, we have no backers, no big companies or anything like that. It's just me. And that's the reason why a lot of these guys, these independent guys, are going to Indiegogo and crowdfunding.
Got it.
And,
okay.
They raise funds and all that. Because, I don't have the luxury of some dude that could give me $150,000. Would that be nice?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, Harvey Weinstein's in prison. He can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
You don't hold on.
Yeah,
CJ,
the green light project's over.
Yeah, CJ, you don't want that money.
Casting,
I know what
couch,
he would.
Casting couch is dead.
Yeah, I know what he would make you do. All right,
So I can only imagine.
But have you ever thought of like setting up like a theater company? Like theaters have where they have their book of actors or players, and then you don't have to worry about casting. You just pull from your theater company.
Yeah, that's too much. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that does that has that. That's just another nightmare added. I mean, we have production companies, right? Like, my production company is called Plan C, because that's usually what it's Plan C for CJ. But yeah, I mean, it's just and actors come and go here and there, especially the the independent actors in Chicago. They come and go, stuff like that. I mean, there's a great crop of them, but it's just the name of the game.
Yeah. All right, so have you guys been doing this for 25 years in Chicago? And I know you've only been like part of it.
It's been going on for 25. Yeah. And when I was just at a convention. There was a big horror convention a couple of weeks ago, Days of the Dead. So we had a booth set up. Our booth was basically a red carpet, right? So we had the big sign, it's called the Step and Repeat, Chicago Horror Fest. So we had all these people come up, take pictures, right? Like Hollywood. And I had a couple guys that came up to me and said they were at the very first one 25 years ago. And they're just like, we're just so happy what's going on. We heard you're doing it. So yeah, this is going to be this May, 3rd, 4th, and 5th is going to be my second one running it. So, but like I said, we already sold today. We outsold last year. So we're about 2 weeks.
Holy cow, that is awesome.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
so
2 weeks away.
So has anybody gone, like, and producers or directors or movies or actors, have any of these things that have come out, has somebody gone, I don't know, to the big screen from this?
Yeah, we had a couple of our films get distributor deals. And there's a funny story, like last October, and I always have the filmmakers, they get free passes, but I always like to have an RSVP, right? Like a week before. This way I know who's showing up, right? So the last film on Sunday of October, right? We had a full feature plan, and two guys from New York, they just showed up. I'm like, oh, our film's playing Sunday night. I'm like, oh, that's the last one because you didn't RSVP, right? So they were there the entire weekend, and it was a full house. So they were having fun and blast, and it was time for their film to show, and it showed at like 10 o'clock on Sunday, and it was them and then 2 other people in the crowd, right?
Man.
Everybody just left, and I'm like, oh shit. I go, it's only 2 people, but I'm like, you know what? They were here when it was packed. It was packed all day. People just, it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, right? So the lights came on, and I knew who the 2 were. They're from LA. So they got up, and the 2 directors got up, and they're like, we love the film. We have people in LA that want this. So we were in the parking lot for 45 minutes just talking, and they were exchanging numbers and name dropping and So yeah, so I think they got signed because of it. So I mean, it was like out of all the two people to be in the audience, it was the perfect two. Right, so they hooked these guys up with phone numbers for LA. So yeah, we had about I think 6 films. They got a distributorship. So but like I said, that was the first time I was running it, so we didn't know how good it was going to be. So I mean, it's now we're kind of getting that spotlight back onto Chicago, because the people that I met at that festival that were there 25 years ago, they said the Chicago Horror Film Festival was kind of like the horror Sundance, right? The horror con back in the day. Like, you had to put your submit your horror movie into this festival to make it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring it up, get promotion. Like I spent all day today in Chicago just handing out flyers at all the comics bookstores, doing promotion. So, and that's what my goal is, to get it up to where it can be like a con, Sundance for horror in Chicago, and to get the Chicago back in the limelight.
Where was it at when it first started? What theater?
Oh Jesus, it's been all over.
Okay.
You name it. It's been through a couple different owners, which are all great guys. But yeah, I just, like I said, it's when I took it over, it was just basically, here you go, and I had to find it. I came across Facets Theater, right off of Fullerton and Ashland, and they've been super great. Just had a meeting with them today. So we're both on the same page, them and me.
And I love it. I was looking at the titles of some of these. This is pretty funny. Slasquatch, right?
Yeah. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Werewolf Margarita. Which listen to me, it could go either way, right? Either a werewolf is making margarita out of people,
right.
having a margarita after he's eaten people, or you're making margaritas out of werewolves. I don't even know. Here's one that freaked me out. Live, Laugh, Love. That does not seem.
Is it like Pray, Eat?
Yeah. That does not seem. That does not seem like a horror movie of any kind.
That's why it makes it good. That's why it makes it good.
That's funny that you said that. He just sent me an email. So he has a bunch of people coming. So he's got 30 people coming. He just emailed me about an hour ago. So he has 30 people coming just to see his movie. So yeah. So
have you seen it?
Yeah, I basically seen almost every one of them.
Okay, so is the title a trick? Is there not a very little living, very little laughing, and no love involved?
It's not. Let me tell you, it's not. It ain't no Hallmark movie. All right. So.
Okay, so this is another one I saw. The Pencil.
That's really.
Was
good.
it a number 2 pencil?
It's got to be.
It was a number 2 pencil, by the way.
Is there another kind?
And I'm a little confused about that one, because that is a foreign movie, right? But the dude that made it lives in like New York, so he's actually coming to that, and it's really good. It's the story, just a lot of rich. Here's my thing about Hollywood right now, right? There's no creativity. It's
zero.
Remake, let's remake Roadhouse. Yeah. Let's remake Fall Guy. Let's remake this. Let's make this guy black. Let's make this one, a woman. There's no creativity, but there's millions and millions of these independent writers out there, right? That I belong to a bunch of, indie screenwriting, websites. There's so much talent. And like I said, every one of these films right now, any of these writers and directors, they could just kill it in Hollywood. But Hollywood is just, Marvel sucking. It's just no creativity. It's a bunch of dudes drinking soy lattes in a boardroom, making a fortune, and just coming up with shit. Yeah, and I always make fun of them on my Facebook, by the way.
So I just got one question. So, and this is more of a rhetorical question. What scare? I figure you've seen hundreds of movies. You're sort of desensitized to horror. What actually scares you? And could you make a movie about that? So what actually scares you? In real life, what would scare you?
You know what? See, and you guys are from Chicago, all of you, right?
Oh yeah. Born and raised.
So we have. You remember John Wayne Gacy, right?
Yep. Yeah, John Wayne Gacy.
Oh
yeah. Right down the street, actually, in Norwich, Illinois.
Yeah. Well, I was in Des Plaines, I lived in Des Plaines. Sure. So my dad, we were involved with the Des Plaines Police Department. So my dad was at all the trials.
Yep.
And like we had so like he used to go to Pot and Pan restaurant on Rand Road
Yep.
in Display.
Yeah.
And we were there.
For sure.
Just so many connections with me and Gacy. Just hearing the stories when the chief of police at the time, Lee Alfano,
Mm-hmm.
like a great family friend. He would he'd just come over and just like tell us stories. And me, I think I was like 8 years old, so I'm the little kid. I'm like I'm supposed to be sleeping, but I'm hiding and I'm listening to them talk, right? Just being notes. So I heard all this shit. I remember when they announced I was left at home alone. Great parenting, by the way. 8 years old, right?
Helicopter parenting. It's okay.
Yeah. My parents left me home alone. It's dark. And Faggy Flynn. I remember Faggy Flynn with Channel 7 News.
Oh, yeah?
Came on and was reporting about, and there's a picture of the clown. And I just remember we had this huge picture window. We lived, it was dark. And I'm like, oh my God, I start seeing clowns in the backyard. And and just crazy shit. And it turns out, so just Gacy, the real life stuff, right? So then years later, I'm dating this girl. I'm still dating her, by the way. I think it was the doghouse, by the way. But she was adopted. Well, she just found her dad, and he's a best-selling writer, and he wrote the Gacy novel, Defending a Monster. So I'm like, holy shit! It's like full circle on all this Gacy stuff, right? So that's what kind of scared. And like I said, when I was a kid, I used to ditch school to see Friday the 13th movies. I was the only guy in the theater. There's like one guy behind me with a popcorn bucket on his lap staring at me. I don't know what he wanted.
Well, we know what he was doing. We know what he was doing.
Was he right? I spit on your grave?
That guy, and then he got married, so I stopped. And then I just picked up during COVID. I got back into it. That's why, people are like, oh my, he knows all this horror. I'd fail miserable in a horror like quiz contest, right? I mean, I know all the horror back in the 80s. I kind of lost track, in the 2000s, but I'm back into it. But I mean, for me, I'm a scaredy cat too, so I got a pit bull. So I have a pit bull. I got no problems.
Oh man, that is awesome. All right, so let me go over this again one more time. So Chicago Horror Film Fest. It's going to run May 3rd through the 5th. If you're in Chicago, it's at 1517 West Fullerton. If somebody just drives by, can they buy tickets right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy tickets at the door, just walk in, buy them online. Super easy peasy.
All right, and if you want to, you can go to ChicagoHorrorFilmFest.com and buy the tickets. They're really cheap. I mean, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah, and $10 for 6 hours.
Yeah, and you can watch these films, and if you can't get there,
If it's local, I'll go.
how much fun would it be to get a bunch of people together, right? And grab some beers, grab some pizzas, whatever. Have a bunch of people over on a Friday night, right? On May 3rd, whatever, and watch these films together with a bunch of people, and you're going to watch 8-10 films in about 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
Some really short, some a little bit longer. I mean, that sounds like so much fun.
So you remember the Creep Show movie? I like that movie because it was cutting edge because it was like three or four horror movies kind of in one. It was like 3 short series into one. So I thought that was actually really good because instead of being bored with like one movie, one theme, it was actually 3 separate themes. That's what I liked about Creep Show back in the day. So
yeah, it was a great concept. And I'm actually shocked. I'm not shocked Hollywood took that concept because they're brain dead. But I mean that would be a great concept to bring back. Maybe I might do it. We might do something like that. That's an idea, by the way.
There you go.
I mean the drive-through, right? I mean, wasn't the drive-through so much fun?
Oh, the drive-in.
The drive-in, yeah. If you could go to a drive-in and do this, if you could find a place where you could you could do this, and people were outside. I mean, obviously, no kids involved, right? I saw that on your website. No kids involved, but I mean, how much fun would that be? Because you have so many different things. Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that's going to be like, wow, that's intense, but there's also going to be silly and wild and creepy and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you have so many things that you can build on. I'll tell you what, man, it would be really cool if we were the Sundance of something. That would be really neat.
Yeah. And it's getting there. Like I said, I mean, we already, like I said, the submissions ended back in April 1st, right? So we go through a website. If you're a filmmaker, you have a film, it's called Film Freeway, filmfreeway.com. That's the big festival website for filmmakers. Super easy peasy. You just, click and you submit a movie. but we just started our October season, and so far we started on April 1st. So far we have about 110 submitted already, and we go all the way to submit until September. So yeah, I mean the horror community is it's insane. It's loyal, but just the creativity and the movies that I'm watching is like holy shit, Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I bet there are some bad ones, but I mean, every one of these, I mean, I gotta say, they're just amazing. So,
But isn't it sometimes isn't a bad film sometimes like crazy entertaining?
Oh, that's what I mean. The Evil Dead became so popular and so good. Evil
Yeah.
Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, man, that took off.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
the first one wasn't that well made, and the second one, I mean, it just, yeah. And what was the other one?
Bruce Campbell. That guy's
Oh,
a
yeah.
legend.
yeah, Bruce Campbell.
What was the other one with the high school? With the galoshes, the murder in the high school.
Prom night.
No. We were talking about it. It's like a comedy horror film.
Oh, the one where he's walking up the
Yeah,
steps and
it's all
he's-
point of view with the murderer.
Yeah, he's walking up the steps, and
What
this is
the
my
fuck's
favorite
it
line
called?
of all time.
Yeah.
He's
Why did
walking
I
up
wear
the
galoshes?
the craziest, longest steps, and he says, and he's
Yeah.
on his way to kill somebody. He's
Yeah.
deep. He's getting thing. He goes, I hope I don't die first. And he's actually walking up these steps, and he's wheezing to death. Yeah, happy birthday to me, or I don't know what it was.
There's actually a movie that came. There's actually a movie that came out right
Oh,
now.
Student Bodies.
Student body.
Student
So
Bodies.
there's
Student Body,
there's a movie that
yeah.
came out right now. So it's a horror film about it's from the perspective of the serial killer. So it's like the whole movie. I didn't see it. I don't know what the title is, but it's like the whole movie is the perspective of the serial killer versus like just the victim. It's like the serial killer planning it.
Yeah,
and
that's been done. That's
doing
pretty
it.
popular.
No, but it's actually current right now.
Yeah, I know, but like
so-
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer was like that, right?
Yeah,
Well,
but
there's a new one
That's a
coming
good
out called
idea.
Trap.
Those are good movies, though.
There's a new one called Trap. I forgot what actors in it, but
That might be the
it's
one you're
ba-
talking about.
But they just launched a trailer a couple of days ago called Trap, and basically a serial killer takes his daughter to a Taylor Swift concert, and it's a setup. All the FBI knows that he's there. One of them, he's there. They just don't know who. It's called The Trap. I forgot the actor's name. Pretty famous guy. But yeah, check that on YouTube called The Trap. That's really good. I want to see that.
Oh.
And there's a one that just came out a couple days ago last week called Abigail, about a young vampire. She's like a little 8-year-old vampire.
I saw the preview for that. I saw the preview for that. Yeah, he goes, "What, Abigail? What are you doing?" And she just like fangs come out, and she just like is about to rip his guts out. Yeah,
Yeah, great.
Oh man, that is so terrifying. All right, CJ, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
You guys are fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We'll get a chance. Maybe
Yeah, I'll be
maybe-
there Friday. I'm gonna go Friday.
If
the
you guys
3rd.
stop by, just ask for me. Stop
Okay.
by, mention you're one of the idiots.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you.
One of the idiots. Like I said, I talked to you earlier. I go, I'm the fourth idiot of
Yes.
this group. So
Join us.
Yeah, you know what? That's the funniest thing because you'd be surprised how many people are like, oh, I love it. I want to be the fourth idiot. And I'm like, you can't have 4 idiots in a room, man. There's no way you can have 4 idiots in a room.
I've been there though. I've been there probably 20 idiots in a room. So,
All right, man. Listen, have good luck. Have
Thank
fun, and yeah, I think I can swing by on Friday night
Oh,
also.
yeah.
So yeah, so we'll check out some stuff. I'd like the theater where the stuff is the least scary.
Yours is on last
yeah,
on.
I can't. Like I said, I can't. There's some in there. There's some in there. But like I said, there's also a bar. So that's,
Right.
you just show up, have a couple cocktails, stick your head in theater, and that's it. Have a couple cocktails.
So-
the rest of the night.
Your movie, the Evil 3, is the last show on Screen 3, right?
No, it's actually the first. It's on Friday, so we're
Oh.
premiering it Friday. Probably start like around 9:00. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
Okay.
Friday night, and then afterwards we have a big party. Every night we have a party, but after that one, we have I hope, I don't know, I might get booed and egged on. So
No
then there'll be
way.
parties canceled. Everybody get out. So
No way. Okay, yeah, we'll check it out on a Friday then. All right,
check it out.
cool.
All right, guys.
All right.
All right, thanks, CJ, man.
Thanks,
We
Friday.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Good
brother.
luck, man. All right,
All
take
right,
it easy.
bye.
Be safe.
Oh wow, is that, dude? That is crazy. 200. I mean, That's the thing.
And it's
When
right down the street. I mean, it's actually Fullerton and Ashland. I mean, that's not that far.
So when
That's
I
my
looked
old
at it,
stomping ground.
yeah. So when I looked at it, I thought they were full-length movies, right? Obviously, I thought
His
and then
movie is, I
I
think,
like that.
his-
It's,
yeah.
it's like a buffet.
I
It's
think
like
his movie is 40 minutes, 48 minutes.
Yeah, 41
But it's like a
minutes.
buffet. It's,
Yeah.
you, instead of getting bored with one movie, you get this a variety. Yeah, I
Right.
like that.
That's
I like
the
that. I like
thing
that. I
that
like
made
that
it
concept.
cool,
I like that concept.
right? Because I was thinking if 12 hours and 6 hours at a time,
Yeah.
you get maybe 2 or 3 movies. But no, you're getting like 8, 10 different movies.
I like that. I actually like that better than like one long.
Well, yeah, because
movie.
here, look at, for example, like what you guys are talking about on Friday. Here's a list. First movie, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Then 9 minutes and 9.5 minutes. 14 minutes, 17 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. So you're gonna watch like 8 or 9 movies within those 2 hours.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
mean, with the little break and everything.
Yeah.
Here's
I
the
like
thing.
the break. I like the break. I like the intermission part.
Yeah, because you just want to go to the bar and drink.
Well, I mean, just you gotta take a piss sometimes. You can't sit there for 3 hours. It's not
But-
Dancing with
Yeah,
Wolves.
but I honestly, I love. There were 2 other ones, and I didn't get a chance to mention them. The Spaghetti Man,
Yeah.
and then you ready? Real maple syrup. I mean, what could you do? And I
That's
think
not
about
so
it, but-
harmless.
Right,
though.
right.
I want to
But-
see the custodian.
So all custodians are terrifying, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's I was.
No
looking
one
at-
goes in.
isn't
no
that-
one comes out.
No, isn't that?
Is that what the thing is?
Wait, who's that guy? Who's
the custodian?
Reed's buddy Toad. He's the custodian.
Toad.
He's the custodian.
Here's one. Here's
He's
a
the real
good. This one.
custodian.
This one I showed Ted. This one, kombucha.
So yeah, I mean, there were so many.
It's like a bottle of blood.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many kick-ass. There were so many kick-ass titles and different things, right? And I'm thinking, there's got to be something you like. And if you don't like it, he's right. He's right. You know what? If it's something that just doesn't fit into
Can you
what
switch
you're doing,
can you switch theaters? Like go from theater 1 to 2
Yeah,
to
oh,
3?
yeah.
Just leave.
walk out, grab a beer,
Yeah.
take a piss, have a smoke,
But
do
go to
whatever,
different- go to
and then
different
try
theater.
a different one.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
try a
Yeah,
different one.
I like that.
Yeah, how
I
much
like that.
fun is that? And then who knows what happens? I mean, I got to figure if you're looking for content, you're looking for somebody that can create something cool. How could you not go? I mean, horror movies are very unique, right? How
Yeah.
could you not go there and find something neat?
Oh,
Right?
here's one for you, Matt. The Time Machine.
No. See, you know what? I was funny. I was
It
going to
is.
ask CJ, as long as it's all horror and no goddamn time machines. Yeah.
That's the name of it. I don't know if it involves a time machine or not.
Yeah. I tried watching your dumbass movie with that time machine. That murder movie
Oh, whatever.
with the hot chick. I just
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with it. Oh man, that was all right. So are you planning on going Friday?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Friday.
All right.
I can't go Saturday. Yeah, Kelly's going to the Cubs game, so yeah, I'll go to this.
All right, I'm in.
She'll be right down the street. Actually, she'll be at Wrigley.
I'm in. Teddy, I know you will not be able to make it because you will be drunk by then.
I'm busy. Give me a report.
Oh my God, you are so wrong. Yeah, this is really cool, man. It is exactly. It's actually. I thought it was going to be cool, but it's actually way better with the shorter movies and all that fun stuff.
I might go all weekend. I'm looking at this. I might go all weekend. How did I not know about this?
I know that's what I mean.
live here.
25 years.
But this theater's actually fucking cool, man. I don't know where they were
It's
before.
not, it's not
but
that far. Fullerton and Ashland. That's
No, it's very close to where we're at.
super close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teddy, we can hear Teddy slurring, right? You can hear how drunk he is right now. And he said he was going to drink.
The theater is very close by.
He said he was just going to have a little bit of Crown. You see why I'm doing this?
Where is this theater at anyway?
Fullerton and Ashland.
you do that?
Is- wait,
tricking
is
you,
that
you
is
drunk.
that Bucktown or Wicker Park? I
No,
always
that's
get
like
confused.
by that's,
It's
that's
Buckertown.
Buckertown.
no Fullerton and Ashland. No,
No.
it's like by Wrigleyville almost.
Oh, it's Wrigleyville.
It's by Lincoln Park,
I don't know.
Wrigleyville-ish.
Yeah. I think it's
Well,
at
not even
Fullerton
Lincoln
and
Park.
Ashland, Ted. All right. Let's put this thing to
Not
bed.
Wrigleyville, but it's
No, it's right there. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's not bad. You know what? We could probably get a bunch of people to go.
No,
No?
I'm gonna go.
No, I mean, I'm going with you.
I know.
but,
I don't
mean,
want
we
to
could
do a
probably
group outing thing.
No. But we could probably tell a bunch of people
Yeah,
that's what we're
sure.
going to do and check it out. I know there's a lot of excuse me. I know there's a lot of guys that are horror movie guys,
Yeah.
and I'm not even doing it. But I just wanted to. You know what? And I know he's going to have people. You know, the guys who make the movies that are there.
Yeah, there's a panel on one night.
Yeah. And I just want to, honestly, I would just like to bullshit with them to see how they're making their movies. Like, I'd love to, a couple of drinks, a couple more drinks, and talk to CJ and, find out the different things. It's just kind of a really cool to me when you're creating something. That's why I asked them, how close do you come to what you think what you want and how close it really is. Because I wonder, like even Steven Spielberg and all these guys, when they make Star Wars, when like the first Star Wars or whatever,
Yeah,
Indiana
George
Jones
Lucas,
or
yeah.
whatever it was, and they made it, and they're like, okay, this is what I picture. How close were they to that?
Yeah.
Right? Like they're just like, all right, well, this is good
Yeah, but
enough.
when you got a budget like that, it doesn't matter because, you know.
Yeah, but you still can't. It's
Their
still
vision,
It's
yeah.
still the vision of what you thought.
Let's put it
could
this
be.
way: they probably got closer to their goal than like CJ ever would, without big money,
Yeah, but then
like he said.
But you also have to wonder if you're not that close to what it was, does it end up actually better because you just
Yeah.
went with the flow, right? I mean, how many times have you planned a trip or planned something, right? And you're just like, and it doesn't work out, and it works out to be fucking great,
Yeah.
right? You just have a good time with it, and if you'd have done exactly what you wanted, it probably would have sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Teddy, look at you. I swear
What's
to God.
wrong? What am I missing?
No.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh man, the bottle of Crown is gone. It's being hidden, Ted. I can't do it anymore. Honestly, I can't. All right, so Teddy, I'm going to give you last thoughts. First, last thoughts. Do it.
I'm scared too. Mark.
Yeah.
I'm frightened.
I know. I am too now. Matt's freaking me out. It's just become a horror show.
Whoa.
Versus a shit show.
Yeah, we went from shit show to horror show.
Wouldn't that be awesome? There's another one. There's another idea.
Podcast horror thing.
A podcast where everybody dies. Everybody who comes on it dies.
Yeah.
Or gets drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mark, last thoughts.
I'm going to this film festival. I'm really jacked about it. I love independent film. I've always been into it. I know some guys that made some movies. And Chicago's a great place for it. And man, I'm just bummed that I didn't know about this sooner.
Yeah.
But you know about it now.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
no, I mean like in previous years. Not. I would have checked this out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how wouldn't you?
Because I used to go to film festivals at the Cisco Theater that opened there on State Street years ago. And, I had a couple buddies. Yeah, we used to do that all the time. And, yeah, so now I could get back into it. I'm going to be an empty nester soon, Ted, so I could start doing that stuff again.
You start doing. You can start having fun. No, I mean,
No, I've always had fun.
No,
It's just
but once you're
you go
honestly,
do things now that the kids are
once your
out of the house.
once your kid stops playing sports,
Yeah.
you have all the time in the
Yeah.
world. You really do.
Scary time.
And whether
That's
it's-
the real horror film.
Yeah.
That-
Well, whether
true-
it's
true
whether
that-
it's
true that.
sports or if your kid's an actor
Yeah.
or whatever it is, once
No,
they're
the horror
done and they're
picture is me time on my hands.
there's a horror.
The
oh,
empty
man.
nesters.
Dude, that's
Now what do they do?
oh man. You know how many people?
Isn't that a Stick song? Too much time on my hands.
Yeah.
There's a horror film.
That's a horror film right there. That's a horror film right there. Too much time on my hands.
Oh man.
Holy shit! All right. You know what? I feel like we're gonna be able to make an awesome horror film.
Yes.
You know why? Because if you need a dead guy in the street or a mentally challenged homeless person, I'm gonna be able to fill a lot of roles.
Yeah.
Ted, I don't know what you could. Fill.
I've been scared for the last 114, 16 weeks.
117 weeks.
I'm frightened.
Yeah. All right. So last thought: if you want to hit the Chicago Horror Film Fest, if you can't make it to Chicago, you love horror films, get online, watch these things, put together a group of people, have some fun, enjoy all this stuff. I mean, I am really stoked about this, and we'll let you know what we did when we went there. Keep listening. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up. We're not gonna be as guest intensive as we were, but we're gonna bring in some very, very fun people, just like CJ, but very, very fun people, and you will love it. Listen, tell everybody, get on your social media, do all that kind of stuff, and as usual, we will see you next week.